Justin Baldoni's $400 million lawsuit against Blake Lively has been dismissed by a U.S. District Court judge. So if you guys have been following what's been going on with the whole saga, Blake Lively, the actress starring in the movie It Ends With Us, also co-starring Justin Baldoni, they are in a legal battle with each other that stemmed from a December 2024 civil complaint that Blake Lively lodged against Justin Baldoni and his production company in California with the California Labor Department. In it, she claimed sexual harassment and other allegations. Her co-stars in the film actually came out in support of her, as well as the author of the book that the movie is based on. Now, the New York Times did an article where it heavily cited Blake Lively's complaints, and then Baldoni, he filed a $400 million defamation case against Blake Lively, her husband Ryan Reynolds, Blake Lively's publicist, and a $250 million lawsuit that was separate against the New York Times. In it, he alleges a smear campaign, extortion, all this other stuff. In the judge's opinion, what Baldoni presented as his argument did not meet the criteria for extortion. It was more of, bargaining negotiation as far as the judge was concerned. The lawsuit against the New York Times was also dismissed because it was in the public interest, and it's very hard to seek a defamation or libel case against a publication, especially such a huge publication like the New York Times. A lot of it is based on First Amendment, freedom of the press, etc. For it to be a successful argument, he has the burden of proof to show that the New York Times willingly knew otherwise from what was written and still chose to publish false information. The judge felt that that wasn't the case because the whole argument was that Blake Lively's complaint against him to the California Department of Labor was libel and a smear campaign against his reputation and everything. But the judge ruled that, this is protected from libel and defamation because it's a complaint. If this was allowed, then nobody would be allowed to complain. Then every single complaint that was ever filed would be considered defamation. So the judge is giving him a couple of days to amend the complaint if he wants to pursue it as Blake Lively breaking her contract. But this is definitely a victory and a win for Blake Lively. Let me know whose side are you on with this whole Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni nonsense. I tend to believe Blake Lively, it's very retaliatory. She made a complaint against him for sexual harassment and other offenses to the California Department of Labor. He, in turn, decided to turn it into a lawsuit by suing her husband, her publicist, and the New York Times for $400 million. Also, the fact that her co-stars in It Ends With Us had came out in support of her. It would be different if it was like someone not affiliated with the movie, with the set, with the production crew, with the director, the other actors and actresses. But she had cast members that were a part of the film that had came out in support of her as well. I think that is also very telling. But let me know what your thoughts are on this, guys.